In this session, we will try to uncover the input statements. The first input statement that we have is BufferedReader class. BufferedReader class is used to read dynamic data from the user. And it sets the data in the form of either character or string. So not integer, not double, or not any other data type. It only accepts either char or string. This is a predefined class present in java.io package. So if we want to use this class, we must import this package in to our program. There may be chance of exceptions, hence we must handle the exceptions when we use this class. So what is the syntax for the BufferedReader class? It is BufferedReader BR. BR is a variable name, is equal to new buffered reader of new input stream reader of system.in. This is the syntax to use the BufferedReader class. So let's see what each of these mean. System.in, from the input device, we are reading the data. What is the input stream reader? This is a way of reading dynamic data from the user. And what is the buffered reader? It will store the data in a buffer. Why? Because whatever input data we are reading, it will not submit the data to Java directly. When the user submits data, it will, or it may take some time to read the data one by one. And finally, after reading, it will submit it to Java. After collecting the total data, then it will submit. For this reason, it uses the buffer concept. So there are two functions in the buffer reader. The first one is br.read. This reads single character in the form of ASCII code. And then we have buffer read line, which is used to read single line in the form of string. So if you want to read either character or string, you have two functions. One is read, another is read line. And these two functions are present in the BufferedReader class, which is present in the java.io package. And if you want to use this class, you have to import this java.io package in your program. So let's see some example program. So if we have to use BufferedReader, then we have to import java.io.star. And let's see. So buffered reader br is equal to new buffered reader of new input stream reader of system dot in. Then let's print some line for the user to input the data. Let's use print system.print enter any character. And then to read the data from the user, int data equal to br.read is for reading the character. And then let's print the output to the user. Print ln. And let's say the character entered is comma or plus data. So let's compile this program. Okay, there is a compilation error. It says throws exception. I have told we have to handle the exceptions when we use this class. So we have to declare throws exception. That's the error. Let's save this and try to compile it again. It's compiled successfully. And let us execute. Enter any character. Say, for example, I entered A, and the character entered is 97 in the ASCII format. So let's get the actual character which we have entered. For example, entered in ASCII code. 97 is the equivalent ASCII code for A. So let's do entered. Let's do entered in character format itself. Remember, we were doing typecasting, so we have to do the typecasting here. To do the typecasting for character, we just put the char in front of the variable name, and let's compile and then execute. Let's enter A again. So the character entered in ASCII format, ASCII code format is 97. The character entered in character format is A. Let's save this example in the notes. And also get the cancel this. Okay. Let's move on. Let's see some example for reading strings. So what we have to do, we have to get the string. For example, let's enter your name. And here, when you're reading the data, declare it as string, and maybe I'll change the variable name to read. And then we have to use br.readLine. Then I'll just remove one system out print line. Let's say hi, then space, then name. Let's try to execute this. Compile. I have used lowercase s here. Should be string, uppercase. Compile. and execute. Enter your name, John. Hi, John. For example, I enter first name space last name. That's still okay. It will give the right output. Save this example. Also this output. So this is first input statement, which is BufferedReader class. And the second one, or the next one, is console class. This is the second type of input statements that are available. So console class, it is used to read dynamic data from the user. And it accepts the data in the form of strings like username and passwords. And it is also present in the java.io package. So for us to be able to use this class, we must import the java.io package. So let's look at the syntax. How does the syntax look like? Console C is equal to system dot console and C dot read line of string and if you have to read the passwords, read password of string. Let's see some example for console class. We must import java.io and then console C is equal to system dot console and then string name is equal to C dot read line. And we don't need a separate system out print to ask the user or give some string to the user like enter username. It will directly print it for the user and take the input from the user. And for password, let's define a character array, which we will uncover as we progress. But for now, password just use the character array. And for reading C dot read line, read password. And then you can give the user some string message like enter password. And then we can system out the username and password. Let's do system out print line username is plus name, and then let's do the password. Obviously, we are not printing the password. Let's see what happens when we do this. Let's compile. Code is compiled and execute. For example, I'm giving the username as admin and I give some password here. It is not showing up the password which I'm typing. Obviously, we can use maybe like star 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 or dot 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 dot. Maybe in future we will explore that. For now, we'll stick to just this empty string. You will not be able to see it in the console. But here the password is printing something. You don't need to think that I gave this as the password. It is the actual array name. It just gives the array name. It doesn't give the actual password. So let's save this program in our notes. Also save the result. I'll put some notes here. Is not actual password. It's just the password array name. Okay, the last input statement that we have, or input class we have, is scanner class. It is also used to read dynamic data from the user. It is used to read all types of data. It is the most commonly used input reading method. This is the most commonly used uh, reading class or method. It is present in the java.util package. And we must import this package to use this scanner class to work in your program. And it is present in three forms. The first one is, let's see the syntax. First one is scanner SE is equal to new scanner of string format. The second one is scanner SE new scanner. You can read it from file. And the third one is scanner SE new scanner, and you can read it from system.in input device. We will explore each one of these as we progress, and I'll stop here. This is end of Java session 109.